Thank you everybody for being here, and I am sorry. Um, so my presentation is in what if Latinx girls shape the future of STEAM. And I think I have to go back and forth to go through the presentation. So, hola, please answer this question in the chat. Before starting your career in STEAM, could you have named a Latinx woman in the field who inspired you? So meanwhile, I am just gonna give a minute to see if you have any answers to this question. If you had any role models in the past before you started your career in STEAM, if you could have named them, or maybe you didn't, they were not visible, that's fine. Maybe you could tell us, no, I didn't have many. Thank you, and go. Yes, I had a kind of like a blind side to this. My mom happens to be a software engineer, but she never did anything with her career. So for me, it was kind of like um, I just in a no. So I have written this quote based on findings from class 2030 and Life Ready Learning by Microsoft and McKinsey and Company, and other educational studies. I've been reading a lot because I've been writing a book. And so role models who believe in improving skills through effort can greatly increase interest and confidence in STEM subjects among young women. So I just wanted to start with that one. And then, so I'm going to introduce myself for those of you that don't know me. Hi, I am Andrea Chavez, and I am the founder of Pineapple Women. Pineapple Women is a nonprofit organization that has as a mission to empower young Latinx women to understand their value. When I started my career as a teacher, I started in a public school just for girls. This school is called the Young Women Leadership of Astoria. And there, I had 40% of the population were Latinas. And within my first month as a teacher, many students started saying, Andrea, I want to be like you. And at first, I felt very flattered. But as more students repeated it, I began to feel uneasy about the thought that they were not seeing all the possibilities that were available for them. So I started asking them why they were interested in being teachers. And it became very clear to me that for many of them, I was the only visible role model. There was one student, her name was Daisy, and she happened to say that she wanted to be an engineer. So I asked her why, and I learned from her that her older sister was an engineer, which made me realize I needed to expose my students to more diverse role models. So I began inviting various professionals to my classroom. And one day, by chance, I didn't think about it, I invited a friend of mine, a Latina, to speak to my students. And after her visit, many of my Latina students began saying, I want to be like her. That's when I understood there was more to the story. These girls really needed to see more role models who look like them. So I embarked on a journey to find more Latina role models in different careers that my students could relate to. So kind of like the mirror effect where they could see themselves. Um, So, unfortunately, back then, and I am talking about more than 10 years ago, Latinas in leadership, and as we know in STEM, were actually very hard to find. I actually thought I didn't have a good network of Latinas in leadership in STEM, and that's why it was so difficult for me to find them. But sadly, the more I dug in, the more I understood that the numbers of Latinas in many successful careers were very, very low. So this is when I started understanding that the lack of visibility, the lack of visible role models contributes to leadership gaps, career stagnation, um, and occupational segregation. Unfortunately, this is still a problem today, despite us Latinos making up 19% of the US population, only 6% of overall marketing industry investment is spent towards Hispanic community. And only one out of 1,334 directors is a Latina. And less than 2% of venture capital funds go to Latinas. And I know that you might be, you might know these numbers. Um, and as many of you might know, only 1% of C-suite executives are Latinas. So we are missing many, many Latinas through the pipeline. I believe that the lack of representation in leadership creates a significant issue. Latinas often don't see many people like them in high paying jobs. This lack of role models and mentors not only makes it hard for them to even imagine themselves in such positions, but it directly contributes to a lack of career advancement. Without sufficient leaders to guide them and advocate for them to progress, to go up in the ladder, um, many we this is where we lose many of them. Consequently, this results in income disparity. Many Latinas work in jobs that pay poorly and offer little chance for career growth, which in turn restricts the financial growth and career potential. This ongoing cycle contributes to occupational segregation, where Latinas are overwhelmingly found in sectors with fewer opportunities for upward mobility. On top of all of these, we face both implicit and explicit biases. These biases make it even harder for us to succeed and move up. And this environment of bias and discrimination not only undermines our professional opportunities, but also exacerbates the challenges imposed by income disparity and occupational segregation. So this creates a very vicious cycle of system barriers that are feeding into each other, creating a reinforcing loop that culminates in significant economic disparities. As many as you know and I know, today Latinas earn 46% less than white men. But this cycle does not only affect the pay gap, it also impacts Latinas' dreams. A staggering 74% of Latinas feel that society has certain expectations of them because of their identity as Latinas. These pressures lead 1 to 3 Latinas, which this is kind of scary, to feel restricted from pursuing their dreams based on these expectations imposed by society. This is especially true for younger Latinas. So, what can we do to uplift our younger generation? And if you have any ideas, please add them over here. So, one of our inspiring pineapple women, yes, the picture is showing, thanks, Silvana Moncayo, and Pineapple Women, by the way, are our role models in our nonprofit, shares a crucial message. Keep the desire to dream big alive and aim as high as you can. It is essential that we not only inspire but also equip our youth with the tools and support they need to achieve their goals. So, how can we support our young Latinx women, enabling them to aspire to reach those heights they are dreaming of? As a Pineapple Woman, we recognize the crucial need for more visible stories of Latina role models across various professions. That's why we developed a virtual library, and this platform showcases the diverse and inspiring stories of pineapple women, offering our younger generation a window into the possibilities available to them and providing guidance on how to reach those dreams, their dreams. So it's about making these success stories accessible to inspire and guide our younger generation. So this is kind of like what we are doing at Pineapple Woman. We also understand the importance of supporting our younger generation by equipping them with soft skills and providing them with opportunities to express themselves. That's why we develop a workshop where participants are trained to conduct those interviews with our pineapple women. This approach not only gives them direct access to inspiring role models, but also enhances their public speaking skills and is a unique opportunity for them to learn, grow, and amplify their voices within the community. Also, those stories go into our virtual library, so they are also kind of like contributing to the community. And as Pineapple Women started growing, we asked our participants about their needs, and they highlighted the importance of workshops focused on self esteem, women empowerment, and understanding their own value. So, this feedback reminded me that when I was a teacher, I encouraged my students to create their own personal website. This initiative led to astonishing outcomes. 99% of the students who created their websites in my classroom went into attend fourth-year colleges. 99% of these students were first generation students going to college. 90% of these students embark on careers they had never imagined for themselves, and more than 91% pursue careers in the STEM fields. And some who didn't go to STEM field careers are now working in technology related companies. About 95% of the students who created their websites secured scholarships, with approximately 70% of these being full ride scholarships. Among these scholarships, one of my students even earned a prestigious Bill Gates scholarship, which I don't know if you know, but has an acceptance rate of only 0.4%. So why were the students who created their own websites so successful? When our participants build their websites, they engage in deep self-reflection, which allows them to better understand and articulate their stories. This process helps them recognize their own value and boost their confidence, empowering them to set higher goals for themselves. Implementing this approach at Pineapple Women was a natural step for us. So, by encouraging our participants to create personal websites, we provide them with the tools to showcase their strengths and dreams, which plays a crucial role in their personal and professional development. And creating personal websites allows participants to develop a strong narrative of their story, and this process helps build self-worth. Creating personal website helps participants identify both existing skills and areas of growth, aligning their capabilities with future career aspirations. For me, it's very important that the participants also understand what skills they already have, and that those skills have a lot of value. So we also emphasize the importance of celebrating their achievements. When I was a teacher, I noticed that my students, especially my Latina students, were embarrassed, very, very embarrassed about celebrating their accomplishments. And we encourage them through our program to voice their achievements loudly and proudly. This approach helps us move beyond the outdated notion of calladita te ves más bonita, which translates to you look prettier when you are quiet. So by encouraging participants to celebrate and share their success openly and loud, we challenge this outdated notion. If our participants feel they don't have enough to celebrate yet, which some most of the times is not true, we encourage them to create legacy projects. These projects provide an opportunity to make a lasting impact. For instance, take the project Esperanza, initiated by one of our participants, Sofia. And Sofia's project aimed to bridge gaps for future Latinas in STEAM. And as she goes on this journey, this becomes a substantial achievement to showcase in her website. I'm going to show you another legacy project. Here is Camila's legacy project. It's called We Are Strong Together. She focused on addressing mental health challenges among young girls by fostering a supportive community. Through her project, Camila has created events such as community hikes and yoga days. I've been in many of these events that she has created. Here, Camila is not only creating fun activities, but also essential awareness about mental health. So we have packaged these in what we call Pineapple Empower program. And through this program, every participant embarks on a unique journey. It begins with them gaining the skills necessary to interview a Latinx woman, a role model, and these interviews are then showcased in our virtual library to inspire others. Alongside these participants attend workshops that aim at boosting self-esteem and helping them recognize their own worth while they develop their personal websites. For those interested, there is also the opportunity to create legacy projects. And throughout this program, participants become part of our community, and this community not only provides a sense of belonging, but also reinforces the importance of support and connections in fostering both personal and personal growth. Our participants are around 14 years old to 24 years old, and depending on what cohort we are doing, we change the ages. But the importance of creating a network from young is very important to us. So as our Pineapple Women, as we, the team, engage with our participants throughout the program, we actively create spaces for them to speak up and be heard. This process allows us to truly understand their needs and aspirations, ensuring that we can elevate their voices effectively within our community and beyond. So now let's imagine a future where these voices are not the exception, but the norm. Envision the innovations, the solutions, and progress that we could arise from a world where Latinx girls could also lead in STEM and are the leaders in STEM. How do you think this change could reshape our society? So let me share some thoughts directly from our participants who are already on this path of reshaping the landscape of STEM, and other communities. So I have learned that there is no age or gender to learn, to be in science, to be in STEM, and pursue your dreams, says Emily Ojoa, one of our Pineapple ambassadors. I skipped Sol, I'm so sorry. So Sol says, we are all on this same path to make our dreams come true. Shares Sol Diaz. And then goes the quote of Emily that says, I have learned that there is no age or gender to learn, to be in science, to be in STEM, to pursue your dreams. And then we have Melanie Mendieta that says, rights become privileges when some have them and others do not. And then Antonia Munoz says, it makes sense to me not to leave anyone behind in the chance to be happy during the time we are on earth. So initially, I had planned to conclude this presentation over here and ask, what if the Latinx girls shape the future of STEM, and ask the audience to give me some answers. However, while I was preparing for this presentation, I came across with the study called The State of Latinas in the US, an essential study for brands 2024 by Bowden. And I wanted to share some findings with you. So the study conducted by Bowden provides a powerful insight into why Latinas are drawn to STEM fields. It reveals that Latinas want to pursue STEM because they value curiosity and learning about new things. Um, he also found that Latinas are more likely to prioritize community engagement and social impact through their businesses. Um, I skipped on one. I'm so sorry. Latinas are just entering STEM. That aren't just entering STEM for personal gain. Latinas said that making a difference is an important priority for them. And Latinas are more likely to prioritize community engagement and social impact through their businesses. For them, it is not just about making a profit, it is about giving back to, to the community that raised them. And this one, the study also found that that leading with empathy is a key strength for Latinas. This empathy allows them to relate not only to one another, but to people as a whole. This is a powerful leadership quality that fosters loyalty, motivation, and a sense of belonging in teams. So, what if Latinx girls shape the future in STEM? Take a moment to imagine that. How do you think the world will be? And picture the innovation, the breakthroughs, and the solutions that could emerge. Just imagining this world is why we exist here and why we created Pineapple Women, because we want to be the supporters of these new leaders. And I now, if anyone would like to imagine this world, please share it in the chat. And thank you, and thank you for all of you being here. Thank you, Kim, for the Bowden's study. That's the link of it. It's gonna share it. It is still hard to find other Latinas, as some of our participants are coming. They still say, I just had a phone call with one participant a week ago, and she's in neuroscience, and she said that she was the only Latina in her classes of neuroscience. And this is still, unfortunately, the norm. So this is why we need to like keep working on this. That's if anyone has any questions. Yes, Amy, I yes, I would love. This is the dream. The dream in Pineapple Women is to give the girls all the opportunities so they know all the opportunities and careers that are out there for them. This is why we are always looking for pineapple women, Latina role models, to just put those new stories in our virtual library. So thank you so much. So I think we have finished this, and no one has questions. Thank you for being over here with me today. And please connect with me via LinkedIn. I am going to leave you my LinkedIn. We are always looking for new pineapple women, new volunteers, um, new partners, new sponsors, and obviously more girls that we can support. Um, please let them know about all our workshops to connect with us. And yes, thank you so much. Bye.